Hey, Alan.
Hey, Tucker, how are you, sir?
It's good to see you again.
Thank
I
you.
recognize that mount behind you anywhere.
Yes. Uh, how are
I,
you?
I'm great. I think your last question was overtaken by events, and I can't.
Yes, yes.
Which happens in a news environment like
I
this,
totally
where
understand. News of
like
the day.
the country you thought you lived in turned out to be not that country, but things are moving quickly. But what's your new question?
My new question is about JD Vance being called weird. Okay. First of all, I think JD Vance being called weird is weird.
Yeah.
And they've redefined everything, obviously, from recession to a woman, et cetera. But, and there's all kinds of things I think are weird, like men and women sports and unisex bathrooms and, smelling kids' hairs and headbutting the Pope. That's all weird. Okay. But, uh, and the list goes on and on.
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
Irrational exuberance for Venn diagrams at school buses and the moon and the stars. That's
Yeah,
all weird.
showering with your daughter is weird. That's weird.
Oh yeah, top of the list. Yeah, good one. So, and now that we've redefined what weird is, my preliminary question is do Austin and Portland need to change their city mottos because it might work as well as it used to? But my real question is, do you think the campaign, meaning Trump Vance, I think they should embrace the weird thing and just really redefine weird and say, yeah, we are weird because you know what? JD pulled himself up from his bootstraps. He overcame unbelievable circumstances and to become wildly successful, likely to become vice president, maybe someday president. And he doesn't fit their narrative of,
Right.
Being stuck in the mire of that circumstance he was born into and becoming a slave to the public dole.
Well, yes. I mean, I do. Look, I'm not an advisor to the Trump campaign. There's a lot I don't know. But my sense from a distance is that, they were thrown off balance by these attacks, by their suddenness and their ferocity, which is the hallmark of these attacks. Like they come out of nowhere. It's like a swarm of bees. You're just getting hit from every direction, but it's a coordinated message. And it's important to rise above that for a moment to see what's going on. So, of course, the party of showering with your daughter and, tranny boxers and all this stuff, like they're not calling JD Vance weird because they think he's weird. Is it weird to be like a straight guy who's married with 3 kids who work hard? I mean, it's the opposite of weird, of course. It's the model. It's conventional or was conventional in this country. So it has nothing to do with that. They don't care. What they care about is war. And it's not just the Democrats, it's Republicans in Washington. And they hate J.D. Vance, and they really do. And they have for a long time because he's questioned whether or not these foreign entanglements are good for the United States. It's not a matter of do you like country X, do you hate Ukraine or love Russia? It has nothing to do with that. The question is, should the U.S. government pursue this policy? Is it good for the United States or not? It's really simple. It's a very clear way to look at the world. And it's the only way that our leaders should be allowed to look at the world. And J.D. Vance has called them out on that. And so Republican leaders, Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and, many, many others worked extraordinarily hard behind the scenes to stop J.D. Vance from getting this job. He got it anyway. They're enraged. They're working with Democrats to slander him, but they're not telling you why they're mad at him. And I think if I were the Trump campaign, I would say, we're not weird. Yeah, Judge, of course he's not weird. Or maybe he is. Who cares? The future of the country's at stake here. You're leading us down the wrong path. You hate J.D. Vance because he's called you out on it. And we're opposed to your program. That's the problem here. And I think buying into any of this crap, like, Carmela's social media brat stuff, like, who cares? It's stupid. That's for teenage girls. This is the United States of America. It's the most powerful country in the world. It's in decline. How do we stop that decline? By making better decisions, the opposite of the decisions that she and her senile partner have made for 4 years. So that's how I would address it. Like, don't even play along, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, it's just so ironic. Some California Kamala, as I like to call her, anybody from California calling anybody else weird is weird on the surface.
Well, yeah, but everything they say is the opposite of what the word actually means. The defenders of democracy just took out the sitting president with not a vote being cast. They threatened him into not running again. That's not democracy. That's the opposite of democracy. That's oligarchy. It's very obvious. It's out in the open. So these are the defenders of democracy. No, of course they hate democracy. You know, they're against weirdness. No, there's not a single person in Democratic leadership with a happy, healthy marriage. So they're calling JD Vance weird. It's like, just be quiet. You know, adults are talking now. That would be my response. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Alan. Thank you. I hope that question lasts, and I think it will, because it's really smart.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Great to see you again. Thanks a lot.
You too, sir. God bless.
What's up?
Andrew Brown?
Yes, sir. How are you?
What are you doing? Are you?
Well, I just got.
I have notes here. Let me just interrupt you by saying, according to this from our crack research team, you've gone into journalism at the age of 23.
I have. I've thrown my life away.
Why are you doing? No, actually, I think it's a great choice. Before I give you my opinion, what kind of journalism are you doing? Where and why?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Greenville, South Carolina, and I graduated from the University of South Carolina in Columbia. And I applied for some journalism jobs, being a general assignment reporter, and I got my first job with the Lancashire News. So it's about an hour from Columbia. So I drive every day, but I'm general assignment covering government, politics, education, crime, pretty much everything no one likes to hear.
Yes,
I cover.
Okay, so I think that's like the most interesting educational experience you could ever have at 23. It's what I was doing at 23. It's what my father was doing at 23. None of my children did it at 23 because it was so discredited, but I kind of wished secretly that they would, because it's an amazing gig. You get to see the world and understand. I mean, you don't get paid anything and everyone hates you, but on the other hand, you get the deepest education, you know, you could ever get. In 1 month, you'll learn more than 4 years in college. I'm guaranteeing you that. Here are the pitfalls. The main pitfall is the groupthink that exists in newsrooms. You'll find that everyone, I don't know the paper you're working for, but I know the business very well. And it's filled with a lot of unhappy, resentful people who stayed too long. It's a young man's business. Like, don't stay past 35. Obviously, please do not do that. And they're mad, and they're very intense about their politics, and they shame you into going along with them. And if you're like a normal person, you want their approval because they're your coworkers, and that ends up corrupting you inside. So just be on guard. That would be my advice. This has happened to me personally. It happens to everybody in our business. And just try and tell the truth and stay excited and curious about what you're seeing, and it'll be the most rewarding thing ever. If you tell the truth and stay curious, you will be a massive net addition to our country, and you will grow a lot as a person, I think.
I hope so. That's definitely my goal.